This is Ryan Nickel, and this is the day in the life of a real estate bootstrap investor. So, all right, when I first got started, I had all these ideas of what I wanted to do, but I didn't know exactly what niche I wanted to focus on because I didn't know what I would be good at. And I decided I would just go after everything. So let me show this here to you. So this is my lead sheet here. These are the for rent by owners that I have. I don't have that many for rent by owners, but I go after for rent by owners. I'd go after, these are the local NODs that I was going after. I would drive for dollars. And you can see here that, let's actually get back to the top. I have a lot, tons of leads that I've been driven for. I went driving for dollars. They're abandoned properties, they're beat up properties, they're just, definitely need some TLC, but I have a lot of these leads. Then I got NODs for, all of the area here. So I got a lot of NODs, non-owner occupieds, owner occupieds, but I got a lot of those. And then, again, sorry, this is for rent by owner. The first one was for sell by owner. So I was going after for sell by owners, of course. A lot of red there, not a whole lot happening there. I decided I'd go after MLS. So I went over expired listings. These are a bunch of expired listings, and I just would mail postcards to. And I didn't phone call them because I didn't look up their phone numbers. I went after evictions. These are all not that many, but there's a lot of evictions that I went after. Rentals under management, don't have a whole lot there. Active MLS, these are just properties that I saw that were active on the MLS, but also the owner was putting them on Craigslist as well, so there was some kind of motivation for that owner to get that property sold fast. Code violations, tons and tons and tons of code violations I went after. And you can see here that there's a lot. And then of course I got two more tabs here. I got fires. These are all fires. I got this from the local fire department. These are fires that we had in our market. And then price drops. And then these are just homes that have been on the market on the MLS and they've dropped them. And what I have found out is in trying to go after all of these properties here, I've become overwhelmed and I've stopped my marketing. I'm like, I'm very hit or miss, and so I'm very I wouldn't use the word scattered, but I would say inconsistent has been the case because didn't know what I was going to do, so I just went crazy and just went after all of these things all at once, and I would hit these things maybe like when I'm doing my mailings, my postcard mailings, I was really diligent for like a month and a half. Like every single week I'd hit I'd go after driving my abandons, and I'd go after my beaters, and the following week I'd go after for sale by owners, the following week I'd mail to evictions, the following week I'd go to code enforcement, and this was like an 8-week cycle, and every 8 weeks I'd rotate, so every 8 weeks I'd be hitting this person one time. And I was like, man, this is just not working. I'm getting my results are they're not as powerful as I thought that they would be. And this is what I've learned that I need to do in my own marketing, and I encourage you to do it as well, is to just narrow it down. Narrow it down to 1, maybe 2 markets that you're just going to go after. No more than 3. And so what I do, this is just me. I'm not suggesting that you do what I do, but I want to share with you what I do. So I'm going after right now in my market, I'm going after NODs. I'm going after notices of default. But the way that I'm structuring is my notice of defaults are I'm going after non-owner occupieds, and then what I'll do is I will also go to the probate courthouse and I'm going to look at probate, and I'm going to compare and contrast my probates with my NODs. So I know it's a super motivated person there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and my NODs that are non-owner occupied, I'm going to actually go out and I'm going to drive that to that house. I'm going to get out, I'm going to knock on the door, see if there's anyone there. I'm going to look and see, find out what the deal is with the neighbor, because if it's non-owner occupied, then it's going to be a higher motivation for them to want to do something, to work something out with me. I'm also going to drive, as a second tier, I'm also going to drive my owner occupied pre-foreclosures as well. And what I'm doing is I'm also driving those neighborhoods looking for properties. As I mentioned last week, I was out there, just happened to find an NOD. It was owner occupied, but the house is now vacant. The house right next to it also is having a code violation problem because their grass is taken care of. Now I don't know if the neighbor at that one house was mowing the lawn for the other one and they both went out because they're both equally as long. I don't know what the deal is there. But that's what I'm focusing on. Very, very narrow. Non-owner occupied, notice of default, cross-referencing that with my probates, and then I'm driving the neighborhoods just as a kind of a pick-me-up to find other thing there. But those are my 3 strategies, all focused really on the same exact thing, just different ways of getting there. And what I plan on doing is getting super deep on this one. As you may or may not already know, I've already written a one-time bestseller on Amazon. I'm actually in the process of doing a second one right now, and it has to do about, you know, when you can't afford your monthly payment anymore. What are you going to do when you can't afford your payment? So, but I'm going to dive real deep into my marketing on this one. I'm really going to get this thing all dialed in so that it's not just me calling, door knocking. I'm going to have some you know, professional letter that I have that's branded to my company, Nickel Properties, that comes like, hey, you know, basically says, the gist of it is like, hey, I found in public record that your house is currently in default, and then going from there. And then I'm going to do a yellow letter saying, hey, you know what? Realize you're having a hard time right now. Let's see what we can do to help you out here. And then, of course, following up with the postcard as well. So anyway, I'll keep you posted on the results, but I'm actually narrowing down to go really, really hard, really fast in this market, and not, you know, leave it the chance. Because here's what's happening, and this is the whole reason that brought this whole thing about, was that if I'm only hitting my NODs once every 8 weeks, you know, we're talking 16 weeks here. That's 4 months. 4 months in an NOD is like eternity. That house could be gone. Another investor could have bought it. It could be sold. It could be, you know, taken the auction. So I'm leaving money on the table by not hitting these things up weekly, if not bi-weekly. So anyway, going deep, I encourage you to do the same thing. Choose whatever market you feel is going to be best for you and your personality, and go after it, and go after it hard.